Let's see. Okay, I can see the chat for YouTube. I can see the chat for Facebook. Hello, Cindy in Iowa and Linda in New York, Anne from UK. Awesome. All right. So I hope most of you know why we're getting together today. I'm going to go over what you need to do to have to get ready for Geodes. And if you don't know what Geodes is, it's the quilt on the wall behind me. Like I have the whole studio set up to do the Geodes workshop. So Judy is teaching this class live on Facebook and YouTube, so you'll tune in to us just like you did today. It'll just pop up for you. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel or subscribe to our Facebook page, you can set it so that you get little notifications when we go live, and then you can just join us. If you can't join us right away, we always save them so that you can log in later as well. So she's teaching February 8th and February 22nd, and we're going to do the Geodes class. So I'm very excited about this little project because it's the last in a series of 4 that we did as a promotional program with Free Spirit Fabrics using the Tulip Pink tiny stripes and tiny dots. And this is one of 4 projects that we made. We also did Beach House, the Goodnight Star, Confetti Cake, and then Geodes. And they've all been progressively more techniques and a little bit more challenging steps. This one we actually have to break down into 2 workshops because there's multiple blocks, and then it's not hard, but there's a technique for putting together the units that require some partial seams. So all of that takes a little bit to go through. Let's see, we got Alaska buried in snow. I heard actually that Alaska is having one of the snowiest years ever, so that's kind of crazy. Montana is not having a very snowy year, although our winter has recently been a little bit more wintry in the last month or 3 weeks, I would say. We have Wyoming, we have Indiana, Texas, Great Falls. Oh, Karen from Great Falls. Oh, I love Karen. Karen comes out to our retreats a lot, so she comes and visits us here at our retreat center in Montana. So, hi Karen. I hope you're having a nice day and the weather's nice. It looks like it's supposed to be way nicer on that side of the state than this side of the state. We seriously can't see 5 feet in front of our faces. It's terrible. So, with that in mind, oh, Florida. Chilly Florida, that makes me laugh. So Arkansas, awesome. So I'm so excited to have everybody joining us. So today, let's see, let's go to our little video series here. I made you a really rudimentary list of all the things that we're going to cover. So I'm going to switch over to that for a second. So really, this is a list I typed down in my email and I just screenshot it and sent it to myself today to make sure that I didn't forget anything to go over. So we're going to talk about where to find patterns, where to find the kits, how to use Quiltster to plan and color your quilt. We're going to go over preparing your project if you planned it in Quiltster by the strip. And then if you bought a kit from us, we're going to talk about how to prepare it from that. Also, you might have bought a kit from a shop, so that could be another place. We're going to talk about just using the pattern instructions, reviewing kitting sheet and graphics tables, and finding labels to get your kit all prepared for you. We're going to review the group covers for a color reference. I'll explain that a little bit more later. We're going to look at the website and go over a correction that we had posted, pattern pages and the final bag info. I'm going to talk about some videos on YouTube that you can reference that have more information on just how to set up a Quiltworx pattern in general, if that's something you haven't done before. We'll go over tools and supplies, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Judy's mini arcs ruler because it's a great little tool for cutting all of your curved pieces on your B blocks for this pattern. And then we'll just go over the class schedule again as well, and what we're doing for each of those. So I'll come back to this page if we need to. And I'm sorry that it wasn't more fancy. I didn't have time to pull out PowerPoint. It's been a very busy, really since the beginning of the year. We've been running strong, and some people might laugh. They're like, it's always busy there. Well, that's sometimes true. Oh, hold on. We got a dog coming in to say hi, so hold on. I'm gonna shut the door because he opened it himself. He can do that. All right, Mav, you're gonna lay down on the floor. Maybe you want to say hi? Hold on, I'm gonna switch the screen back to me for a second. You guys can all say hi. Come here, buddy. Jump up here. This is Maverick. This is my dog. So he's big and he knows how to open doors. Okay, let's get down. We're gonna lay down now. Lay down. Okay, he should just lay down at our feet. All right, so let's get started on the class list. So the first thing I want to do, we're going to jump over to the website. Let's go here. Okay, so on the Quiltworx website, if you do not have a pattern and you're thinking, oh, this looks like a lot of fun, the first thing you can do is go find a pattern. You can find those on the Quiltworx website. So go to products, scroll to patterns, and then you can scroll down. And it should be right here on the front page because it's one of our newer publications. And you're looking for geodes right here. So there's tons of information on this page. First of all, you can scroll down. There's information on where to find the video on our YouTube channel. So you can click on here, subscribe to YouTube, and then you'll get notifications when we go live. It also shows the Facebook event, which you can go and follow, and you'll get more information on that as well. It shows information on Quiltster. We're going to talk about Quiltster here in just a second and use these links, and I'll show you what they do. You can see the pattern size, price information. There's also a lot of details down here. So this first link is just the first page of a kitting sheet, and it gives you all of your fabric information and colors to do that specific colorway. If you're not going to use the Tula Pink fabrics, you can still use this as a good guide for how to choose your fabrics. And then the second one, I'm going to click on this. Oops, let's try clicking on it in the right spot here. Okay, so if you click on these, it brings up a bigger document. And there's more information here for you. So there's multiple pages. This is going to give you all of your fabric label information and your strip cutting details. So it gives you that for all of the pieces in the pattern. And then there's actually these label sheets. You can print this out on like an Avery label page if you want, or just a regular. If you just print it on regular paper, you'll have to just glue it on the back, but they have some sticky labels that we use a lot. So if you have those and can run those through a printer, you can actually print out your labels and have everything that you want or need. We did this, if you buy a kit from Quiltworx or from another shop, for example, a lot of times these labels are already on there. The Quiltworx kits already have them on there, but if you don't have them on there, and you look at this page where it says Unit B2, for example, it has fabric B2 1A, fabric B2 1B, and it says here's how much you're going to cut. You're going to cut 5 6-inch strips and 4 6-inch strips, and then you can put a fabric swatch there. So you can basically use this to prep your whole pattern. So if you look up at the first page, you'll see the black. It says the black is B2-1A. So I would put a little swatch of my black next to that in the fabric swatch box. And then I would cut 5 6-inch strips from that. And then I would put it into the bag. The bag information is in the pattern. So this is what you're going to use basically to prepare all of your fabrics. So this page is very important. And you'll move down to all of the different unit blocks. And if you just do that part, then you will be ready for class. So you're going to put everything in group C2 in a bag, and you're going to cut those pieces. You're going to put everything for unit C2 in a bag, and you're going to cut the strips that it tells you there. You're going to do the same thing for unit B2 and unit B1-1. And then you're going to put all of that in bags and label them as you're shown on, and then use these labels to help you label all your pieces. And those labels match everything that's in these boxes. So that's basically what you need to know to set up your kit. If you don't have a Quiltster printout, if you don't have a pattern, if you're using a kit, you're probably almost there. I'll explain that in a minute. But if you're starting from scratch, you can just open up this second document and work your way through that. We also have a third document here, and this one is just really helpful. So if you bought a kit from Quiltworx, you have these documents and all of this information already set up in your pattern, as I'm going to show you right here. So you'll get a bundle that has group B2 and has all of these fabric pieces already cut. The only ones you're going to need to cut are B2-1A and B2-1B. You're going to have to cut those large cuts into some smaller ones. Everything else is actually the size, I believe, that it already needs to be. Actually, they may need to be cut into, it looks like 7.5-inch strips. Let's go back and look at our other document. You might have to cut those in half. So this document says, oh, you're going to cut 3 2.5-inch strips. So those 7.5-inch strips need to now be cut into 2.5-inch strips to be ready for class. But this also shows you by color how to sort everything into the different bags. So these pages are really helpful for you to look at for prepping your kits. Same thing with group B1. It shows you the different, all of the different colorways that you're going to make, and then it has, it shows you these are already cut down. They're already labeled. You just might have to do some additional cutting on each of your background pieces. Group C2 is the same way. And then this is your border, your background pieces, basically. So these documents are out there. You can just open them up and download them to a computer or print them out so that you have easy access to them. And they're right on the pattern page. You can also find replacement papers. You can find some other pictures that you can look at. Then up here, you can click on, so over on the right, it says corrections. You're going to want to click on that and copy these little corrections into your pattern. So we found a couple things. These said make 16. They should have said make 8. So there was 16 total. You're making 8 in 2 different color groups. And I had them labeled as make 16 of each. So that's one correction. Here, B2-1A and B2-1B were switched. So we flipped that. And the same thing here, this one, these color group 1 and 2, they were flipped, so we had to fix that. So the pink is what it should be, so just cross those out in your pattern and make those corrections before we get started with class. Let's see, so we're going to go back to the page. So now, if you click on Buy Now, this is where you can buy the pattern. So you can see the pattern here. So you can add that to your cart. You can also buy replacement papers, and then you can buy borders. If you wanted to make it queen, any of these borders can be added to the pattern to get to queen size. And then we're going to go back to the main page, and if you're looking for kits, if you scroll down and you click on this Marketplace button here under Quiltster, that takes you to Quiltster, and there you can find kits listed not only by Quiltworx, but by anybody who sells in Quiltster. So you'll see lots of different kit options there. Quiltworx even has a queen size one that we're offering. So if you wanted to do it bigger, you could select the queen size design. So these ones are already cut. They're already made into kits for you all, and they're something that would definitely be an easy button if you need to get your fabrics. A lot of them are out of the Tula Pink fabrics. We have one with the white and the black switched for someone who wants a brighter quilt. But I also did a few versions for people who like batiks. There's a couple different versions using Moda Grunge. So yeah, there's different ways that you can purchase these. So then I'm going to go back to that page again. So the other option is you can go ahead and purchase the pattern on our website, but then you can click on project here, and that will take you to Quiltster. Now you need to have a Quiltster subscription to access this page, but for those of you who do, or if you'd like to try Quiltster, it's $9.99 a month to go out and try it. But you can click on either of these and you can go in and actually design your own colorway. So I'm going to give you a brief tutorial here to show you how to do that. I'm also going to double check if there's any questions. Let's see, a lot of people said hi, Maverick. Have some conversations about the box. It doesn't look like I'm missing any questions though at the moment. So. But we have people from the Netherlands and Australia and Vermont, so all over and everywhere, which is really exciting. Ooh, Phoenix, Arizona, gorgeous weather here. Ha ha, yeah. My brother, Brad, who actually is the one who does a lot of the design, he does the design work for Quiltworx. He lives in Scottsdale. So he was here just a few days ago, and now he's back there, and he was just telling me this morning how nice it is. So yeah, you Arizonans, you have the best weather for sure. Okay, so we're gonna color a geode. So I clicked on it, scroll down, we're gonna choose customize, and you get options. One is you could just open up one that is the color on the cover sheet, and if you wanted to tweak some colors there, you could, or you could start from scratch. So we're going to start from scratch. So we're going to click Customize. We're going to name this Geodes New, Create Project. And I really have not thought much about what colors I want to do this in. So we're going to kind of wing it here. But it'll give you an idea of how Quiltster works. To me, this is just one of the funnest things to do. It gives you so much valuable information. So it's broken down. As you can see, when I scroll over the top of these, the little hand touches a new block and it highlights all of the similar blocks in the quilt. So these are not necessarily done out of the same fabrics. They might be, but it highlights everything that's the same block because it will calculate the yardage based on how you do that. Now, if you remember what the Geodes quilt looks like, so I'm just gonna transition to another view here for a second. It has some white blocks with the spikes and some black background blocks with the rainbow spikes. So those are technically the same unit. And if I switch back to Quiltster here, those highlight all at the same time. So we're going to teach you today how to get around that, and we're going to use this little unlocking feature. So if you want it exactly like the cover sheet, you're going to have to do some unlocking, and you're going to have to pay attention to how the color is built a little bit on these blocks. But if you're just wanting to go at it on your own, it'll help you calculate the yardage even if you don't follow the cutting sheet exactly, and still have everything that you need in terms of fabric labels and everything else to make your quilt. So I'm going to start with our background color. So I'm going to click here. I think maybe because I want to make this easy on myself and choose one I know, I'm going to choose the Traditions collection it's a batik collection that Judy and I just designed. So we're going to do a red, white, and blue one here with some black. So let's see, I'm going to narrow this down too by companies just to make sure we don't have anything else mixing in with it. I'll make the screen a little bigger. That might make it easier to see. Okay, so we're working with the E1 block. So everything that I color is going to be the same color here basically. So I could choose any of these fabrics. I want to make the background on this one white. So I'm going to choose my white. Okay, save that. I'm going to go in on these blocks. When I click on those, now you can see if I scroll up here, it says D1. So I can choose the space out here, or I can choose the block up here. And because it had everything selected at once, it's going to color it all the same color. So now I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to choose that white again. And that's going to put that in my background. So now all my backgrounds are in place. I want all of my backgrounds of these blocks to be the same color. So I'm just going to go through and add my whites everywhere that I want them for now. So let's see. I'm going to add them to the backgrounds of all of these. And then on these blocks, in order, because they all come up together, I want to make some of those black. So I'm going to unlock this and I'm going to take the time to just select only the ones I want to have a white background. Then I'm going to edit that and make that one white. And now for now, I'm just going to save out of there. And I'm going to choose the other ones now. So because I've unlocked these, I want to be really careful not to relock them and then make changes over the top of something that I've already done. So now I need a black. So I'm going to choose this black here. And I'm going to save that out. Okay, so now I'm going to go in and to make this match everything that, to make this match the cover quilt, I need to pay a little bit of attention to my spikes. Hold on just a minute. The dog wants to leave. Go ahead. He's always going to be interrupting our videos, just so everybody knows. If you ever tune in live, Maverick will be somewhere involved. It just is what it is. Okay, so we're going to select these ones here. And I'm going to make all of these with the same spikes. So as long as I don't touch the backgrounds, I can choose them and just work on the spikes here. So there's 5 colors, and with this group, I only have 4 reds. So I'm going to actually reuse. So we're going to do, I'm just going to reuse the last one as I go around these spikes. So let's see. I want to put this one next, then this one next. And then if for some reason I decide I don't like the way that's going to look when I get the quilt finished, then I'll do it different. But I think I'm going to like that just fine. So now I'm going to click the other ones here. Okay. And I'm going to make these ones blue. And again, I'm just going to redo that last spike in one of the other blues in the dark. All right. So I have all of my colors. Oops, I missed some. So if I miss them, I want to choose the blocks. So I'm going to use the sync button because I missed coloring these 4 over, or I missed coloring some here. So I'm going to click on the ones with the same background colors that I want. So I'm choosing all, I chose the white one that was colored correctly first. And now I chose all the ones where I missed. And then there's this button here called sync down here at the bottom. If I press sync, Now they all turn to the correct color. So, all right, I have those ones finished. So now I can come in on these, and I want to use, I'm just going to do the red. I'm going to go from red to blue, so I'm going to just go from one color to the next here. All right, so I like the way those are looking. I'm going to save that. Then I'm going to click these little guys in the center. If I look at my pattern really quick, I want to make this one black, and then I want to make this one white, just so that it has the general same look as the pattern. And then I used all 8 of those colors in the pieces. So I made 2 of these blocks. So I'm going to go back to the unlock button, and I'm just going to choose 2 here. And then I'm going to choose my reds and my blues again. So I actually really like the way this is turning out. So we're going to do these ones all with, I'm going to do red and blue in each of them. So I'm going to do my darkest colors first, and then the other one will be the lighter colors. So you can see how quick it is for you to just open up a collection of fabrics and start playing with it. So don't be afraid to find something that you love. We have all of the Tula Pink collections in here, and obviously that's something that we used in the cover. So if you wanted to tweak your colors a bit and do something different, you can. You can also go out and work with entirely different collections or an entirely different color theme than what we're doing here. Quiltster really gives you the flexibility to make all of that happen. And it doesn't constrain you to what's in the pattern. It might make it a little bit more challenging to get your organization and everything set up perfectly, but once you get it all into the right bags and everything, it works out really well. So, and I'm going to walk you through, now that we got this colored, how to read what you get on a Quiltster. So, because not only does it just give you a picture, which is cool, like I'm actually super happy with the way this looks here. Oh, actually, I think I want this one instead. Okay, so my quilt's finished. I've designed it, and I love this. So some things. It all automatically saves here. So if you don't want it to go through the automatically saving process because it's making it slow, you can unpause that. You get a warning. If you do this, you're going to make changes and they won't save. I'm not going to do that, but sometimes if it's working really slow, that's a helpful thing to do. If you want to duplicate it and see what it looks like, make some tweaks to it, you can do that, because we don't have an undo button in Quiltster. So just keep that in mind. This duplicate is the way that you figure out if you like changes or not. And it leaves all of your existing projects, so you can just open them up and change them. I just realized I forgot to color in these little squares here in the center. This is the last block, so we're going to make those ones white. Okay. Now we're going to save that out. Sometimes it's hard to see some of that because you might think, oh, it's supposed to be black. But if you come up here to details, you can click on details and it'll tell you if you've colored your quilt in completely. So this says it's 100% complete, so I know I've gotten it all. So close that up. I can also click on yardage, and now I can see how much of each fabric that I need for this pattern. I can also add backing and binding. So if I wanted to add an actual color to to either keep track of it or whatever, I could. So I'm going to choose this black and white color for the binding. It also gives it to you in by block and by group, but we'll talk about those here more in just a second. So I'm going to close that. I could share this out. So if I wanted to share this, I could share this and it'll be now posted in the gallery on Quiltster so everyone can see it. I love this one, by the way. This is pretty fun, and we just created it right here during the workshop. So maybe I'll just go list it for sale. I actually don't know if I have enough of the background fabric to do that right now. But maybe I'll just go check and see if we do. So we'll see. But anyway, you can click on print, and this takes you to a print page. You can print this on your printer now, and it gives you basically everything that the kitting sheet gives you that I showed you earlier in the pattern. So if you've gone through the effort to design using Quiltster, this is where you get all of your stuff. So first I can click on this. I can save this image out to my computer, and it saves out to a nice size that I can scroll into and see details on it. Down here, you can see the print button. This opens up a print window. You can print it to just a PDF, or you can print it to your computer. It also has a link in it. So let's say you designed this and you don't have the fabrics, but you know that a shop does. For example, I think last week we did a video on this collection, so a lot of our certified shops have it. So pick your favorite certified shop, send them the fabric list, and I bet they will cut the kit for you. So if you click copied, you can now just go paste that into an email and send it away and say, hey, I'd love a kit. Can you help me with this? You also then get 3 different yardage charts here: by fabric, by block, and by group. So you'll notice these have the fabric references on it, and they tell you the total yardage for each color. It also will have by block option, which says, okay, all of your Tonga B6165 Royal, this is what you have, and these are the fabric references, and this is how many strips you're cutting. Now, I will caution you on, for example, these ones here where it's the same block, but we have different strips and we have different backgrounds. So the pattern takes you to the extra level of sorting that out, but Quiltster sees it all as the same block. It still gives you the correct yardage, but if I click on by group, you can see this pretty easily. So I'm going to scroll down to that. So it says fabric B21 is white, and fabric B2-1 is also black, which is true. So in the pattern, we call one of them B21A and one of them B21B. So you can just you'll just have to write on here, this is the A and this is the B, once you print the page out for cutting. And then in Quiltster, so you can see this says B2-2A, B2-2A. So there's 2 of each of those. In the pattern, we handle that with putting an extra 1 and an extra 2 behind each of those numbers. So at least if you use the by group, you can see, oh, I have more than one color that I used for the same spot on a strip. So I need to reference back to the pattern and find out how to sort that out into bags. And it will help you out. But everything you need is right here. So you can see, I showed you that page earlier that had like the group covers, and it had some color pictures, and then it had some tables at the bottom. These match those. So 30 inches, 24 inches, and then you can see all the 7.5 inch cuts that you have here. So you can cut to this level, and then you can go back and look at your pattern and those tables on the cutting sheet, or you can look at your by block yardage to see what the next step is. So like here, B2-2D says you need 7.5 inches and 3 2.5 inch strips. So hopefully you can see how all those pieces start to work together here and how we got all of the information. But Quiltster really helps you sort that all out. So if you decide to sway away from the colorway on the cover sheet, you can still use Quiltster and be very organized, find your organization process. So let's, we're going to transition back to me for a second. Hi, everybody. Okay, actually, I want to go back to this page right here. So we went over where to find patterns. We went over where to find kits. We went over using Quiltster to plan and color your quilt. We talked about using how you use the information from the print sheet then to cut your kit by strips. Or I showed you all of the documents on the website for doing for cutting your kit and for following your pattern instructions as well. It's all basically the same information. Reviewing the kitting sheet and the graphics table and labels, I showed you that document, which was the middle document of the 3 that were on the main page. And then I showed you the group covers with the color references on them, and I showed you the corrections. Okay, so I'm going to switch now to find the right page here. Let's see. I think if we go to, I think I have a page, or I put the pattern, okay, I didn't pull out the pattern. I thought I had a document for how to read the pattern, but on the first page of the pattern, there's a little description of all of the different tools and everything that you need. And on the last page of the pattern is a reiteration of the tables that I showed you from the website that had all of the kitting information. So if I go back to this, where's that page? And then we scroll down. These are the tables that are in the pattern. So you're going to find all of those tables and you're going to follow those, or you can just find this document. Let's go back, and we're almost done. All I needed to do was show you on the website how to find our tools and notions. So you're going to go to products and then go down to notions. And here you can find all of the Quiltworx rulers and different tools that you might need. For this project, you definitely need an add-a-quarter ruler. So if you don't have one of those, you should get one. And we also use, Judy will probably show you this little easy press pin from Acorn. And then also the easy press solution. You're going to need a fabric glue stick, probably a couple different kinds. We talk a lot about either this pin here or your Yoo-hoo glue sticks or a repositionable glue stick. And then there's also this Judy mini arcs ruler set. Most of the supplies you can get pretty much anywhere else. Some shops are getting the mini arcs ruler set in now, so I know that you might want to check your local shop and see if they have it, but if they don't, you can find that one here on our website as well. And those are pretty much the tools that you need, other than, you know, rotary cutters. We don't need any of our applique glues for this one because there's no applique. So, and then, you know, just your basic sewing needles. But the big ones for this, she will be showing you, is that little ruler. You don't need the ruler. But for those of you who like to have a ruler to protect your fingers, Judy's going to show you how she uses it. So let's see, let's switch back here to me. I think trying to figure out if the video is following me or if it's just stuck. I think it's following me. Okay, so I believe that with that we have everything covered that we were going to cover in this. So let's just go back over our schedule. How do you join us for these events? So you're going to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe, or you're going to follow us on Quiltworx on our Facebook page. And we'll be on next on the 8th, February 8th, February 22nd at 1 p.m. Montana Standard Time. And from there, those classes run about 3 hours. And Judy will cover in the first one, we're going to cover all of the B group paper piecing. So you're going to work on those, and then we'll get back together in a couple weeks and we'll show you the C group, and then we'll show you the curved piecing step, and then we're going to show you how to, we'll probably show you how to cut out your border pieces in the first class just so that you can get those all prepared. But so we'll show you curved piecing, and then we will show you the how to do the partial seams.